Morning, Rabbi Say. We're going to start an interesting halacha, one day little halacha, very interesting, very negay, very, very practical. And that is the following. The shaila comes in very often with dealing with businesses, dealing with people that are working. And by the way, this is negaya when people are working over the summer, when people are working at different times. This is often a shaila that comes in. For example, lifeguarding. Is a person allowed to be a lifeguard in this situation? Our discussion is based on a Gemara. The Gemara in Pesachim Daf Nun tells us like this. Tanya. The Tanya. Ha'oisa malacha ba'arvei Shabbosos v'yomim toivim min ha'mincha lamala. A person that does malacha, says the Gemara, from mincha on Erev Shabbos Kodesh onwards. Zuk the Gemara b'fusha Gemara in Pesachim Daf Nun Amud Beis, and it's paskin halacha lemaisa in Orach Chaim Siman Reish Nun Aleph Sif Aleph. Look at the halacha lemaisa. Shulchan Aruch paskin like the Gemara. Eina roya siman bracha la'olam. That a person that does malacha from mincha ulamala on Erev Shabbos Kodesh will not see bracha la'olam. As I state in the Gemara in Pesachim Daf Nun Amud Beis, and as I is the Psak Halacha Lemaisa from the Shulchan Aruch and Siman Reish Nun Aleph. So that's a very negay shaila, right? This shaila comes in all the time. People are working, they have a job, they would have businesses, and they want to know, can they work on Erev Shabbos? Is that a problem or not? We're not discussing the morning, we're talking min mincha lamala. So we'll get to that. Now, the first question is why? What's the problem? What's the issa? What's the problem? Eino roya simmer bracha la'olam. But generally, we don't find that many isurim that carry such a heavyweight inyan. Right? We have to think, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you are allowed to do that. Okay. But here we find immediately that a person will not see simmer bracha from that. The question is, what's the problem? So the Meiri brings down, the Darkei Moshe brings the Oizera also, that it's the problem is it's mamayit in covered Shabbos. When a person is working on Erev Shabbos Kodesh after Mincha, again we'll talk about which one we're discussing, it's mamayit in covered Shabbos. He's not properly preparing for Shabbos. Now we all know, this is a Dover Yadua Ad Ma'od, that the more we take something seriously, the more we appreciate, the more we're into something, the more we prepare for it. And the preparation that we do for something often is a simon, it's a uriah to how much he values that which he is about to do, right? For example, a chasna and kala preparing for months, weeks and weeks, hours and hours for the chasna, because it's a chasna, I've got to prepare. As somebody once said, if people would work on their marriage the amount that they would prepare for their marriage, then it would be a different situation. Al kol ponim. Preparation is very crucial in everything, right? Hechshe mitzvah, hachonah mitzvah, all of these things are gevaldige inyanim. When it comes to Shabbos Kodesh, you cannot imagine how much preparation makes a difference to the actual Shabbos. Preparation isn't just what I need to do in order to make sure I have food and have a clean house and have everything else, which avada also has to be done. But the preparation for Shabbos, right, Ben, is the chalik of Shabbos itself. Faked. Ben will tell you that the more you prepare for Shabbos, we're learning together a beautiful sefer, Isha Shabbos. We've been learning together for how long already? Almost a year. We haven't even got to mikveh on Erev Shabbos. That's how much we've been discussing and going involved in the inyan of preparing for Shabbos. We didn't get to mikveh on Erev Shabbos. Al Kaponim, the preparation for something shows how much you're involved in it, how much of a difference it makes, and therefore the preparation of Shabbos is crucial. Says the Meiri. Darkei Moshe brings it the b'shem doizerua that when a person works on Erev Shabbos, he's mamayit and covered Shabbos. There's no way he's going to have enough time to prepare in the proper way, in the proper manner to come into Shabbos. When a person is ragua, he's relaxed, he's ready to greet the Shabbos Malka, he's excited for Shabbos, not running in the shower and running down to Mincha or Kabbalah Shabbos, whatever it is, while you make your tie up. It has to be that Shabbos Kodesh is a beautiful day, it's an exciting day. We wait all week for Shabbos Kodesh, and working on Erev Shabbos is going to take me away from that Gavaldiga Inyan. The Kolboy says another pshat. The Kolboy says that we're worried that the Tirdas HaMalacha, a person is busy doing work, is busy doing Malacha, says the Kolboy, the reason why it's also is because it might lead to Chil Shabbos, as I state in the Kolboy. So that's reason number 2 why it's also. Reason number 3 is interesting. The Shibbolei Leket brings B'Shem Rabbeinu Tam is we're actually being Moisef Kodesh onto Chol, as I state in the Shibbolei Leket B'Shem Rabbeinu Tam. That's reason number 3. We're adding some kedusha to the week, to the vach, which is another reason why a person has to be careful not to do work on Erev Shabbos Kodesh. So Leket says it applies both to men and to women. This is not only a halacha that is negated to men, it's also negated to women. Okay? So it means like this. The Bach, the Magen Avraham, they all explain, what does it mean? It's a Mefurish Gemara, it's a Psak and Shulchan Aruch. What does that mean? Explains the Bach, explains the Magen Avraham. The reason is what will happen is you will not enjoy that money. Meaning, yes, you might get paid for that money. You might get paid for the work that you did. I have Shabbos Kodesh after Mincha, but you're not going to enjoy the money. Either you're going to have an expense that came up that never would have come up, and it came up to take that sort of money, or that money, that whatever it is that you got, will not be profitable, you will not be gained from there in that case. And that's how the most of the Achronim learn Pshat when the Gemara says that. And the question is, what does it mean, Min HaMincha Lamala? The Gemara says clearly, and as I Paskin Shulchan Aruch, Min HaMincha Lamala, you're not allowed to do work, and if you do any Simmer Bracha, which Mincha are we dealing with? There are two Minchas, as we know, right? So even though there are many, for example, the Tor, the Levush, the Bach, the Makor Chaim, that hold its Mincha Gedoyla. Mincha Gedoyla is pretty much when we daven Mincha in Yeshiva, right? So right now it's like 1:11. So from that time, many Achronim hold, from that time you cannot do Malacha. Most Gedolei Achronim and Poskim Paskin that it's actually Mincha Ketana. As I Paskin, the Taz, the Magen Avraham, the Rabbi, the Shulchan Aruch Harav, the Mishnah Berurah Paskin is this way, the Kavachan, the Ben Ishchai, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, they all Paskin this way, that it means Mincha Ketana. So just to give you an example of what we're dealing with, like for example, this Shabbos Kodesh, Parashat Chukaisai, so Mincha Gedola on Shabbos, on Erev Shabbos, let's go Friday, is 1:12, right? 1:12 is Mincha Gedola, so according to many, 1:12 already would be problematic. According to most poskim, it's actually Mincha Ketana would be 4:43. So that's a huge difference. 4:43 is Mincha Ketana. Shabbos comes in, Hadlakas Haner is 7:04. Here in Eretz Yisrael, in case those people who are listening are going to get the wrong money, by the way. We're talking about Eretz Yisrael, we're talking about Yerushalayim. Don't get me wrong in other places of the world, wherever you're listening, I don't want to get in trouble. But upon him, therefore, we go for Mincha Ketana in that case. Now the Shulchan Aruch says which malacha are we dealing with? We're talking about malacha kavua. We're talking about someone that does something b'kviyas on an Erev Shabbos. Arai, someone just happens to be needs to sow something, whatever it is for Shabbos Kodesh. We're not talking about malacha. By the way, let me get this clear. I'm not discussing over here malacha. I mean, you can't put on a light after Mincha Ketana. That's not what we mean. We're talking about doing malacha, doing work that a person is doing, and work means actual work. The poskim discuss what about business? What about, for example, if a person's discussing with someone else a business deal? He's buying a house, he's buying a car. I don't know what. Is that the problem after Mincha on Erev Shabbos? The poskim say no. That's not a problem because it doesn't fit into the three reasons that we started with today in that case. So therefore, business, buying and selling, is be'etzem mutter, even though, by the way, there are those who are machmir, I'm not going to say, but the meaning is definitely be makel on business, but actual working. So if you're getting a job and they're making you stay, maybe you should make a stipulation in the conditions of what you're working for, who you're working for, to make sure that you try on Erev Shabbos Kodesh to work until Mincha, if you can, Gedola, Halavai, but Mincha Ketana as well. The Heilige Shloch Kodesh brings down that there is an inyan for a person to close everything by Chatzos. In fact, the Aruch HaShulchan is screaming over here in Aruch Chaim Simon Reish on Aleph. The Aruch HaShulchan is mamish. What's the pshat? The olim are working, shops are open, people are busy. Say Nachanami, if it's Tzorchei Shabbos, stores that are selling things for Shabbos Kodesh, there's definitely more of a mocking to be makel, for sure to buy and for sure even to sell. For people that need, people come late, whatever it may be. But otherwise from that, a person should not be working on Erev Shabbos Kodesh. A person should try whatever he can to minimize what he does on Erev Shabbos so that he comes into Shabbos in the correct form, in the correct way. And at the end of the day, as we said at the beginning, all our preparation does is it makes the mitzvah even better. It makes the chashivas of what we're doing better. That is the general halacha when it comes to working on Erev Shabbos. As we saw, ein roya simmer bracha la'olam, a person that does work will not see simmer bracha. We should always be zocheh be'ezah Hashem to keep this halacha and to see simmer bracha from everything that we do.